I walked into the hospital, the morning sunlight streaming through the windows, casting a sense of calm over the bustling corridors. My colleague Sarah greeted me with a smile. "Morning, Emma. Ready for another day at the hospital?" Sarah asked cheerfully. I nodded, stifling a yawn. As ready as I'll ever be. Hopefully it's a quiet day. Little did we know that our day was about to take an unexpected turn. Just as we settled into our routines, our boss, Dr. Lewis, called us into his office. We exchanged curious glances, wondering what could be so urgent. "Emma, Sarah, I need you both to work overtime today," Dr. Lewis said, his tone serious. "Overtime?" Sarah's eyebrows furrowed. "Is something wrong, Dr. Lewis?" He sighed, leaning back in his chair. "We're short-staffed and we have some critical patients who need constant care. It's essential that we have extra hands on deck." Reluctantly, I agreed, my mind already picturing the extra hours stretching out before me. "All right, Dr. Lewis, we'll do it." Sarah, ever the optimist, chimed in. "Maybe we can make it fun, like a late-night adventure in the hospital." Dr. Lewis chuckled. "Well, just be prepared. The night shift can be unpredictable." As the day wore on, we tried to maintain our positive outlook, believing that working overtime might bring some unexpected excitement. We shared jokes and stories, convincing ourselves that this would be an opportunity to bond as a team. Nightfall descended upon the hospital, painting the hallways in dim light and casting long shadows. The emptiness around us began to feel unnerving. Sarah looked at me, her voice tinged with a mix of excitement and trepidation. "Ready for our night shift adventure, Emma?" I nodded, trying to muster enthusiasm. "Yeah, let's make the most of it. Maybe we'll have some interesting stories to tell afterward." However, as the hours slipped away, a sense of unease settled within us. The once familiar hospital transformed into an eerie landscape, and the night held secrets we were not prepared to uncover. Suddenly, the sound of hurried footsteps echoed through the empty corridor, snapping us out of our thoughts. We exchanged startled glances, frozen in place. The door to the ward flung open, and a disheveled man burst in, his eyes wild with terror. He stumbled towards us, his voice trembling with fear. "They want to beat me up," the man exclaimed, his voice strained. Sarah gasped, her voice barely a whisper. "What's happening? Who is he talking about?" The man rambled on, his words becoming increasingly incoherent. "They're after me. They won't stop until they get me." Fear gripped us as we exchanged frantic glances, searching for answers. Our once adventurous night shift had taken a dark turn, and our own safety was now at stake. Whispers filled the air as we huddled together, trying to make sense of the chaos unfolding around us. "We need to find help," I said, my voice shaking. As we braced ourselves to confront the intruder, the man's gaze shifted, his focus trained on something only he could see. His expression shifted from terror to confusion as he swatted at imaginary foes. Sarah gasped, her voice filled with disbelief. He's hallucinating. This is beyond anything we expected." We watched in horror as the man's hallucinations consumed him, his erratic movements reflecting a battle against invisible adversaries. The hospital, once a sanctuary of healing, became a battleground for his tortured mind. The night dragged on, each passing hour weighing heavily on our spirits. We clung to the hope that dawn would bring an end to this nightmare, longing for the safety of daylight. Finally, as the sun's first rays peeked over the horizon, the man's delusions vanished like a phantom, leaving behind a sense of emptiness in the air. We emerged from our hiding places, emotionally drained but grateful to have survived the night. The hospital gradually returned to its normal routine, but the memory of that harrowing experience would forever linger in our minds. We learned a valuable lesson that night, a lesson about the fragility of sanity and the chilling reality that darkness can invade even the most ordinary of places.